Today we're going to show you how to change the tub seal on your washer. That's a pretty easy job. Let me show you how we do it. Now to do this repair we are going to need a variety of tools. We'll start with a stiff putty knife, a 1/4 inch and 5/16 nut driver, a flat blade screwdriver, a 7/16 wrench or socket and ratchet, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a 1 11/16 spanner wrench and a large hammer. Let's get to it. Now before we begin this repair, we are going to need to disconnect the power, so pull the plug to the washer. We're also going to want to pull that washer far enough forward so that we can remove the fill hoses from the back, so be sure to turn off the water supply before you remove the hoses. And once we've done that, we'll take our putty knife and we're going to go in this gap between the front panel and the top panel, and you'll locate a hidden spring in there. Simply depress it with the putty knife and pull the front panel forward. And tilt the front panel forward and lift it off of the 2 tabs on the bottom that secure it there. You can set that aside. Next, with our 1/4 inch nut driver, we're going to remove 2 screws that secure the top panel to the cabinet. Now next we're going to remove 3 screws that secure the console to the back panel. So using our 1/4 inch nut driver, remove those 3 screws. Now with the screws removed, we can tilt that console forward and just slide it a bit to the right to disengage it from the main top, and then we're going to lay that down. And next, with our needle nose pliers, we're going to pull the air dome tube off of the pressure switch, so just gently pull that hose to disengage it. And now we can pull that panel back out of the way. Just let it hang from the back of the machine. Now we're going to take the main top and just lift it up a couple of inches. Next we're going to raise the lid to its open position. And then we're going to depress the tab on the back of that lid switch towards the front. And then we can push the lid switch up through the opening. And you can pull the lid switch towards the back of the washer, release it, and drop it through the opening. And now close the lid, and we can remove the main top. Now next we can set that console back on top of the washer again, and then we're going to remove the 1/4 inch screws that secure that mounting bracket to the washer frame, and we'll pull that off. We'll remove the back panel and just let it hang over the back of the washer. We can now take the end caps, slide those out of the way, and then we can take the control panel and the mounting bracket and just lift those completely out of the way. Now next we're going to remove the agitator from the tub. So we're just going to reach in and grab the skirt of the agitator, the very bottom of it, and give a sharp pull upwards. Just pop that off of the drive block, remove it, and we'll set that aside. Now next, with our 7/16 wrench or socket and ratchet, we're going to remove the bolt on top of the agitator drive block, and then we can pull that drive block off of the agitator shaft, and we'll set that aside. Now next, we'll take our 5/16 nut driver, and we're going to remove the screws that secure the suspension straps to the tub cover. Remove the screw and then lift the strap off of the tub cover tab. We'll inspect those straps as well to make sure that they're in good shape, and if they show any signs of wear or cracking, we'll replace those at the same time. Now next we're going to release the tabs that hold the tub cover to the outer tub, so just press down slightly on the tub cover and then pull the tabs away from the tub to release them. And we can lift the tub cover free and set it aside. Next we're going to take our spanner wrench. Now with our 1 11/16 spanner wrench, we'll set that over the tub nut. And because it is a left-hand thread, we're going to turn it clockwise to loosen it. So we'll take our hammer and give that a good sharp rap. completely remove the tub nut and set that aside. We can now lift straight up on the inner basket and remove it from the washer. So next we'll take a flat blade screwdriver and we'll just gently spread that split ring just enough so that it will slide up off of the shaft. Next we'll lift the hub washer off of the shaft. And next with a flat blade screwdriver we're going to pry that old seal out of the tub. Now if you remove a little bit of the crud that's on top of that seal, you'll get an idea of how large it is. And what we want to do is to pry that seal up out of the opening in the tub without damaging that center hub of the tub. So just work your way around it. And once you have that seal moving, you can take two screwdrivers and just go in opposite each other and pry it straight up. Then we'll just slide that completely up and away, and we'll discard the old seal. Now before we install the new seal, we'll want to make sure that this shaft is nice and clean and dry. So with a rag, we'll just wipe any of the excess dirt off it first. And then we'll give it a good close inspection to make sure that it's not pitted and that the seal will make a good contact with the surface. Now when installing the new seal, it's a good idea to just take a little bit of dish detergent and rub around the outside edge of that seal. That will allow it to slide into this opening a little easier. So either some liquid dish detergent or some rinse aid will do just nicely. Now once we've lubricated that outside edge, I'm going to carefully slide that down over that center shaft and then firmly press it into the recess in the outer tub. Make sure it's flush all the way around. Now we'll install our new hub washer. Slide that down until it bottoms out on that shoulder. And we'll discard our old split ring. And install a new one. Again, we'll just slide that down over that shaft. And if it's a little tight, just carefully spread it with a flat blade screwdriver. And make sure it bottoms out on that washer. Now next we'll put the inner spin basket back in position. So we'll let that sit right on top of that split ring. Just rock it back and forth till it centers itself. And we'll take our new tub nut, and remembering that it is a left-hand thread, we're going to turn it counterclockwise to tighten it. So just gently rock that tub back and forth as we're tightening that nut. And now we'll use our spanner wrench. And we do need to tighten that nut securely. Now when installing the tub cover, we want to first of all make sure that the gasket is in good shape all the way around it. Then we're going to locate the bleach inlet in the left front corner. So tuck it down in around the top of the cabinet, making sure that we keep the tabs outside of the outer tub. Then we'll use the large forked locators to make sure that we have it properly in position. Now once we have it lined up, just press the tabs down over the hooks on the outer tub, making sure that you keep nice and straight and that all of them engage. Make sure that all the tabs snap firmly into position and that it's locked firmly on. Next we'll install the tub dampening straps. And with our 5/16 nut driver, we'll replace the retaining screws. All right, now we're ready to put the control panel mounting bracket back in position. So we'll just rotate that around, set it roughly into position. We'll lay the control panel across the front of the tub. We'll need to install the end caps, make sure that the hooks fit into the rectangular openings on the cabinet. So we'll put one screw on either side just to hold that in position. Next, we'll rotate the back panel up and slide it in underneath the 3 tabs at the back. And then we'll put the 2 screws in to secure that. And make sure that that back panel lines up with the end caps before we tighten the screws. We can now tilt the control panel back up into position, and we'll leave it there until we put the main top on. Now when we put the main top on, we want to make sure that we engage these slotted holes at the back of the main top with the 2 hooks on the top frame. Now next we're going to raise the lid and just tilt up the front of that top panel enough that we can position the lid switch up through the opening in the main top, keeping the wire harness towards the front. We'll hook it in and then press down on the back of it until it snaps into place. And we'll reach in between the top and the frame. We'll snap the wire harness retainer into the frame, and we can lower that main top down into position. We can close the lid. Now next we're going to slide the air dome tube along the left-hand side of the cabinet up through the opening in the frame, making sure that we clear the tub dampening straps. And we're going to lay that console down flat and pull the air dome tube clear and fully insert it onto the pressure switch. Now we'll line up the 2 tabs on the bottom of the control panel with the slotted openings in the main top. We'll slide that to the left. It's in position. Then we can replace the 3/4 inch hex head screws across the back. And make sure that the end caps fit around that back panel first. Now next we'll replace the 2/4 inch hex head screws that secure the main top to the cabinet. Next we will replace the front panel, and we'll make sure that we line up those 2 slotted openings on the bottom with the tabs on the base frame. And then as we tilt that panel forward into position, make sure that the little locating pins line up with the openings on the front panel. And then just snap it into place. Now we can replace the drive block for the agitator. It is splined on the inside to fit the agitator shaft. So you just drop it down into position. We'll take our 7/16 bolt, and then with a ratchet or wrench, we'll tighten that securely. We'll have to hold the tub in position while we do that. Next, we'll take our agitator and we'll put it back in place. And you'll note that there are some plastic tabs that hold that to the drive block. There are also 4 splined guides that line up with the exterior of that drive block. And those guides also correspond with the fins on the bottom of the agitator to help you line it up easier. So set it over the drive block, slide it down into place, and give it a sharp push to lock it into position. We're now ready to reconnect our fill hoses and reconnect the power, and a repair is complete.